Next is the ring structure of glucose. So till now we studied the open chain structure of the glucose, and that was like there were 6 carbon, 3 4 5 and 6. At first carbon there was aldehyde group, and here other were hydroxyl groups. So this was the open chain structure of D-glucose. But this structure has certain limitation, due to which there was an exploration of other structure, and other structure which we explored comes out to be the ring structure of glucose. So although the open chain structure of D-glucose explains most of its reactions, yet it fails to explain the other facts like other facts which were not explained by the open chain structure of glucose are: first was the D-glucose does not undergo certain characteristic reactions of aldehyde. For example, glucose does not form sodium bisulfate as a addition product, and aldehyde ammonia, and does not respond to the Schiff reagent test. Second, glucose reacts with the hydroxylamine to form the oxime, but glucose pentaacetate does not. This implies that the aldehyde group is absent in the glucose pentaacetate. Further, D-glucose exists in two stereoisomeric forms, that is alpha D-glucose and beta D-glucose. Alpha D-glucose is obtained when primary glucose is allowed to crystalline from water or aqueous alcohol at room temperature, and it has melting point of 419 Kelvin, and specific rotation was plus 112 degree in a freshly prepared aqueous solution. However, when glucose is crystallized from water above 373 Kelvin, beta D-glucose is obtained. So beta D-glucose is obtained, and its melting point was 423 Kelvin and has a specific rotation of plus 19 degree in a freshly prepared aqueous solution. Both alpha and beta D-glucose undergo mutarotation in the aqueous solution. Although crystalline forms of alpha and beta D-glucose are quite stable, but in aqueous solution each form slowly changes into an equilibrium mixture of both. So this is evident from the fact that specific rotation of a freshly prepared aqueous solution of alpha D-glucose falls gradually from 112 degree to 52.7 degree. So I will explain these things you when we will study the ring structure of glucose further. So they are saying that at equilibrium, in the equilibrium mixture, the specific rotation of mixture is plus 52.7 degree. It means when this optical rotation of this equilibrium mixture was checked, that means when plane polarized light was allowed to pass through this equilibrium mixture, the deviation in the plane polarized light was 52.7 degree to the right hand side. This plus sign tells us about the right hand side. And further, alpha D-glucose has specific rotation of plus 112 degree, whereas beta D-glucose has specific rotation of plus 19 degree. So this change, so it means both alpha and beta D-glucose undergo mutarotation in the aqueous solution. So this change in the specific rotation of an optically active compound with time to an equilibrium value is called mutarotation. So this is called mutarotation. Change in the specific rotation of an optically active compound with time to an equilibrium value is called mutarotation. D-glucose forms two isomeric methyl glucosides. This is our next point, where we are saying that D-glucose forms two isomeric methyl glucosides. The 2-methyl D-glucosides behave as a full acetal. Like acetal, these methyl glucosides are formed under anhydrous condition but are hydrolyzed back into glucose and methanol under aqueous acidic conditions. So first of all we will study the ring structure of glucose. So to explain the ring structure of glucose, we will start from the evidences. There are certain evidences which explain the ring structure of glucose. First of all, the phenomena of muta-rotation exhibited by glucose anomer can be easily explained in terms of the cyclic structure. Each of these anomer is a typical hemiacetal and can be easily hydrolyzed in the aqueous solution to give the open chain form of the glucose. Therefore, in aqueous solution, either anomer is converted through the open chain form and into an equilibrium mixture consisting of both the anomers with a very small amount of the open chain form. The equilibrium mixture has a specific rotation of 52 point that I told you here, 52.7 degree. Thus, the phenomena of muta-rotation is due to the facile opening and closing of the hemiacetal ring. Further, you can draw the structures here. This is the open chain structure of glucose. So you can see here that this is the alpha D glucose and this is beta D glucose and this is glucose open chain structure. What is the difference here? Structure is same except on this carbon. Here hydroxyl group is present on the left hand side, whereas here hydroxyl group is present on the right hand side. Further, this is the alpha D glucose and the beta D. What is the difference? This is the presence of hydroxyl group and how it is observed in the form by the optical rotation. In case of alpha D glucose, optical rotation value is 112 degree, whereas in case of beta D glucose it is plus 19 degree, whereas equilibrium mixture has a specific rotation value of 52.7 degree. At equilibrium, the concentration of alpha D glucose is 36%, open chain form have 0.5%, and this beta D glucose has 64%. So these are the concerns. So you can see that at equilibrium the concentration of this beta D glucose is higher as compared to alpha D glucose and open chain form. So this is the different type of structures of glucose. So this is the change in the specific rotation, and this is called muta rotation. So here the value of optical rotation value is this, and here This structure explains the mutarotation also. So we will see the mechanism of mutarotation. Mutarotation is believed to occur by a concerted mechanism. Mechanism mean one step mechanism. The process involves the simultaneous removal of a proton by the base water from the hemiacetal hydroxyl group and donation of a proton by water to the erythral oxygen. Alternatively, the base water removes a proton from C5 hydroxyl of the open chain form and nucleophilic attack by the oxygen atom of the C5 hydroxyl atom on the carbon atom of carbonyl group with simultaneous donation of a proton by water to the oxygen atom. So we can write its mechanism of mutarotation as this is the alpha D glucose form. Here that oxygen, this was the alpha D form, and here it is the open chain form. In open chain form there is the carbon aldehyde group. So the base water removes a proton from C5 hydroxyl of the, this is the water, H2O. So this water acts as a base here. It removes the hydrogen from fifth carbon. This is the fifth carbon from the hydroxyl group. So the base water removes a proton from the fifth carbon hydroxyl group of fifth carbon of the open chain form and nucleophilic attack by the oxygen atom of the hydroxyl group of fifth carbon. This nucleophilic attack by the oxygen, this oxygen atom acts as a nucleophile and it attacks the carbon atom of the this aldehyde group, where with simultaneous donation of proton by water to the oxygen atom of the this carbonyl group. So this is also water. Here the oxygen atom, here this proton from the water is donated to the oxygen atom, which result in the formation of this hydroxyl anion. So what is the mechanism? This is a concerted mechanism. Concerted means a single step mechanism. Here in the open chain glucose form, water, the mechanism starts from the fifth carbon of the open chain form. At fifth carbon the hydroxyl group is present and the hydroxyl group is an electron rich group, oxygen present. Here water attacks on the hydrogen of the hydroxyl group and removes that proton, whereas this oxygen from here attacks on the carbonyl carbon of the same molecule of open chain form, and this carbonyl carbon oxygen from this carbonyl carbon goes to the proton and abstracts the proton. So this is the first step, and here there is the formation of the ring. If you see to this side, that is alpha D glucose. Now alpha D glucose is formed. Here again another molecule of water, H2O, comes to the first carbon, proton of first carbon, and this bond, OH bond, is donated to the carbon oxygen bond. Due to this shifting of this bond, oxygen hydrogen bond, carbon oxygen bond is converted into this carbonyl group. See, this is the sign of a reversible reaction. So in this direction there is a formation of alpha D glucose, and in the reverse direction there is the formation of in reverse direction there is a formation of this open chain form of glucose, and further this beta D glucose is formed. So in this direction, on front this right hand side there is the formation of beta D glucose. In case of beta D glucose, the molecule of water H2O abstracts the hydrogen, and there is a movement of this bond to this formation of carbonyl bond, this group bond. Further here so in forward direction there is a formation of beta D glucose, and in reverse direction there is again formation of open chain glucose. So thus during mutar rotation the ring opens up to give the open chain form from both sides, which when recloses either in the inverted position or in the original position, giving an equilibrium mixture of two anomers with the small amount of the open chain form. So mutar rotation is possible only in amphiprotic solvent which can act as both as acid as well as base, such as water. So amphiprotic solvent is needed for mutar rotation. Amphiprotic means proton, which can either donate or accept proton, like water. Water can donate proton. After donating proton, water will be converted into hydroxyl ion. This proton is released, and water can also accept a proton, and then water will be converted into hydronium ion. So the typical aldehydic reaction of D-glucose, such as our next point is the typical aldehydic reaction of D-glucose, such as cyanohydrin, oxime and osazone formation, reduction of the Fehling reagent, can be easily explained in terms of small amount of the open chain form present in the equilibrium mixture of the two anomers. So earlier we studied the open chain reactions of the glucose. So these open chain reaction of the glucose, like formation of glucosazone or oxime or cyanohydrin, can be explained on this concentration of the open chain form, that is 0.5% of the in the mixture. 0.5% is the open chain form present. So as the open chain form is consumed during the formation of these derivatives, the equilibrium is disturbed and more of the open chain form results to push the reaction in the forward direction. So when this open chain form is consumed, so as per you have studied the Le-Chatelier principle or equilibrium. So when this form will be consumed, more of this form will be formed from the either of the these two anomers present in the equilibrium mixture. So more open chain will be formed, and that will again react with any of the reagents like Fehling solution or Tollern reagent or hydrogen cyanide, and they will result in the formation of more open chain form. So ultimately the whole of the glucose reacts via its open chain form to form these derivatives. In contrast to aldehydic reaction of D-glucose with Schiff's reagents, sodium bisulfite and ammonia are reversible, and the concentration of the open chain form in the equilibrium mixture is too low. As a result of these, weak reagents cannot disturb the equilibrium to form more of the open chain form, and hence these reagents do not react with the D-glucose. So the formation of two anomeric methyl glucosides can be explained in terms of the cyclic structures. So these are the some points which substantiate the formation of ring structure as well as open chain structure. Next are the ring size of glucose. So glucose ring size of the glucose can be determined with the help of different reactions. Like, to determine the ring size of the glucose, we will do some reactions through which we will come to know that the glucose gives us the how many members are present in the ring of glucose. So first of all, this is glucose. So this is glucose. First of all, it was treated with the methanol. Methanol is CH3OH oblique HCl reflux and separate. So there will be the formation of methyl beta D glucoside. This is methyl beta D glucoside. So glucose was converted into a mixture of alpha and beta D methyl glucoside by treatment with the methanol and dry HCl gas. Dry HCl gas at the reflux temperature, and methyl beta D glucoside was separated. So it resulted in the formation of two methyl glucoside, alpha and beta. This is beta because due to the presence of this methoxy group in on the left hand side of the this glucoside. This is called methyl beta D glucoside. While glucose was treated with methanol and HCl, there were formation of two glucoside, alpha and beta. In case of alpha glucoside, this methoxy group was on the right hand side, whereas this is the methyl beta D glucoside. Further, in the next step, it was treated with the methyl sulfate, that is CH3 twice SO4 and sodium hydroxide. It resulted in the formation of this compound 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is the methyl 2346 tetra or methyl beta D glucoside. So here, while we treated this methyl beta D glucoside with methyl sulfate, all the remaining hydroxyl groups, these were converted into the methoxy groups. So this was the formation of this tetra methyl glucoside. Further, in the presence of dilute HCl, in the presence of dilute HCl, this methoxy group on the first carbon was reconverted into the hydroxyl group. This is the dilute HCl. So this was the tetra methyl glucoside in the presence of dilute HCl. It resulted in the formation of this and reversible form of it. Reversible form was open chain structure of same compound. So the open chain structure, and further when it was treated with the HNO3, that is nitric acid, when it was treated with the nitric acid, there was formation of intermediate keto acid 5, which result in the formation of trimethoxyglutaric acid and dimethoxysuccinic acids. This is trimethoxyglutaric acid and this is dimethoxysuccinic acid. Trimethoxyglutaric acid was formed from the cleavage from the C5 and C6, whereas dimethoxysuccinic acid is formed from the cleavage of C4 and C5. So these are the two products formed. So in first step, let me repeat once again. In first step, the given compound, we try to ascertain the ring size of the glucose. To ascertain the ring size of the glucose, we have to perform some given reaction with the glucose. So this ring structure was determined by the analytical studies, that this kind of ring structure maybe exists there. So when we were given in the lab with some kind of compound, and we were asked to ascertain the structure of that compound with the help of reactions. So first of all, we treated the given compound, that is, we know that from theory that the structure of glucose is like this. Right now we know, but at that time when the structure was ascertained or established, we don't know the ring size of the glucose. So now we can write with the help of this structure throughout the we can explain with the help of this structure all the reactions of the glucose. So given compound, that glucose was treated with the methanol and HCl, and it was refluxed. There was formation of two compounds, this compound and other compound. Difference between this compound and other compound formed was the presence of methoxy group. In this compound, the methoxy group was on the left hand side, whereas second compound formed, the methoxy group was on the right hand side of the compound. So this glucoside is formed further with the help of methyl sulfate. In next step, we treated the product with the methyl sulfate. Now there was the methoxy group on all the hydroxyl groups were replaced by the methoxy group. Earlier only one hydroxyl group was replaced by the methoxy group. Now all were replaced by the methoxy group. In next step, we treated the obtained compound with the dilute HCl, which result in the formation of tetra-O-methyl beta-D glucose. Here that methoxy group on the first carbon was again reconverted to the hydroxyl group, and it exists with the equilibrium with this open chain form. And in next step, we treated these compound with the nitric acid. In nitric reaction of nitric acid, there was the formation of this intermediate keto acid 5, Further, this keto acid undergo cleavage on the C5C6, that is this C5C6, and on the C4C5. So there was a formation of two products, that is trimethoxyglutaric acid and dimethoxysuccinic acid. Thus, it is the fifth carbon which is on the ring formation and has the actual size of ring in glucose is 6 membered. So this sequence explains the ring structure of the glucose. This was the fifth carbon which involved in the ring formation. That's why there was a cleavage of this carbon at the fifth carbon, either at C5C6 or C4C5. So we can write the similar reaction for the other reaction mechanism, where we can take the ring formation at this carbon. This means methoxy group will come here and this ring formation will be on this fourth carbon, at this carbon. If that we will proceed at the fourth carbon which is forming the ring, there will be the final products will be different. Final product in that case will be dimethoxysuccinic acid and methoxymalonic acid, and that products were not obtained in this ring size determination of the glucose. So this is the ring size determination of the glucose. Further, you can also study the ring determination structure of the fructose similarly. So try to write these reaction mechanism yourself. This is quite confusing, so if you will draw them again and again, then you will come to know, and if you find any problem in this structure, then you can contact me.